The young master has truly lost his mind, a stable boy whispered, scurrying away as I began to dig through a pile of water-damaged crates. I ignored him. My eyes were scanning for specific densities. I found a discarded copper warming pan, dented beyond use, but the copper was pure. I found several shards of high-quality quartz from a shattered decorative screen. Most importantly, I found a heavy, rusted box of imperial clockwork. The original Lin Shu had bought it at an exorbitant price to impress a girl, found he couldn't even wind the mainspring without snapping it, and tossed it into the mud in a fit of pique. I opened the box. My heart, Elias's heart, skipped a beat. Inside were gears, real hand-filed brass gears. They were caked in grime and seized by rust, but the teeth were intact. To anyone else, this was a box of expensive trash. To me, it was a modular toolkit. Copper for the heat sinks, quartz for the bearings, and brass for the drivetrain, I murmured, my fingers dancing over the scrap. I can work with this. I dragged the box back to my shed. I spent the next 4 hours in a trance of productivity. Cleaning was the first priority. I used sand and a piece of rough burlap to scour the rust from the brass. I used the remaining alcohol from a half-empty jug I found in the shed, likely the previous Lin Shu's last meal, as a solvent to degrease the movements. Then I began the assembly. I wasn't building a clock. A clock was a passive object. I needed something active, something that solved a problem. Using the tension from a salvaged carriage spring and the gears from the imperial box, I began to construct a centrifugal table fan. I hammered the copper pan into 3 curved blades, balancing their weight by shaving the edges with a piece of flint until they spun with 0 wobble. I used the quartz shards as a makeshift ball-bearing race to reduce the friction coefficient. The most difficult part was the governed escapement. I didn't want the fan to spin wildly and die out in seconds. I needed a steady, rhythmic release of energy. I was finishing the final calibration when the door to the shed was kicked open. Lin Shu, you lazy, bloated sap. I transmigrated as the mad fool, but now I build the Cold Regent's heart.